Hello, everyone. Welcome to UAlbany's Business Intelligence System tutorial video. Today, we will look at the RF Sponsor Program Expenditures dashboard. First, let's go to the Research menu of dashboards. This menu lists out 4 dashboards in research analysis: proposals, post-award management or book awards, award installments or full awards, and RF sponsor program expenditures. There are also descriptions of each dashboard to help you better understand them. As for research expenditures, they are activities that represent payments, repayments, or receipts for goods or services provided. The term included actual expenses and accrued liabilities. The data in this dashboard shows expenditures credited to individuals, departments, and colleges or schools. If you encounter any questions, please click the bottom part to send me an email. Now let's move on to the expenditures dashboard. We have 6 tabs in the expenditures dashboard: research expenditure summary fiscal year to date, research expenditure by school or unit, research expenditure by NACUBO, research expenditure by award type, research expenditure by employee, and research expenditure details table. Research expenditure detail table is the table that we use to build up each other 5 tabs. Whenever you would like to check into details, you could move to Research Expenditure Details tab. So let's look at the first tab. The first tab shows the Research Expenditure Summary fiscal year to date data 2 days before the runtime. The runtime here is September 2nd. So here the system reflects August 31st data. This is due to a 2-day lapse data processing time. At the top part, it shows the fiscal year-to-date summary data of indirect cost to direct cost recovery rate, fiscal year-end credit direct expenditure, fiscal year-end credit indirect expenditure, as well as fiscal year-end credit expenditures. The second part of this tab is a comparison table for the current fiscal year 22 to 23, and the prior fiscal year 21 to 22. The table shows the fiscal year-end credit direct expenditure, indirect expenditure, and the total expenditure. It also shows the indirect cost to direct cost recovery rate. Please note that the dollar amounts here for each month is a cumulative data, meaning it reflects data since the beginning of the fiscal year to that month end. For example, the August data here reflects research expenditures starts from July 1st, 2021 to August 31st, 2021. This table also includes a difference part that we use current fiscal year's data to deduct prior fiscal year's data. For example, as for the difference of 1.5 million fiscal year-end credit expenditure, we use 11.16 million data in fiscal year 22 to 23 to deduct the credit expenditure data in fiscal year 21 to 22. When the difference is positive, meaning we are on an increase trend, the number will appear as black. When the difference is negative, meaning we are on a decrease trend, the number will appear as red. At the left side of our summary table, there are several filters that could be used to meet your needs. Please remember, the filters are not only good for this tab. If you select a filter, it will be applied to all 6 tabs and detail tables. We can select fiscal year display, calendar month, credit school and unit, NACUBO class, award type, a credit person's first name, and credit person's last name. For example, we can select calendar month, July, for comparison. After selecting July, in our filter, we can select Apply button. And the filter result will show up. If we would like to clear our filter, we select Reset button, and then we select Reset to default values or Clear All button, and then we click Apply again. Voila, we are back into our summary table. At the bottom part of our Expenditure tab here, we also show a graph so that we can check the trend of our fiscal year-end credit expenditure. If you would like to drill down into a single month, you can click the blue colored number here, and the system will bring you to the detailed page. Whenever you see the blue color in our dashboards, you can click on that content to go into the details. Remember, if you have selected the filter, it will be applied to the drill down table too. For example, we would like to look at research expenditure during July fiscal year 21 to 22. We can click the number here. The research expenditure details table will automatically show information, including award number, credit person's full name, credit school and unit, award name, sponsor name, and prime sponsor name, NACUBO class, award type, award status, fiscal year display. The table will also show fiscal year end credit, direct expenditure, indirect expenditure, as well as the total expenditure. You can make adjustments to this detailed table to tailor it to meet with your needs. For example, you can sort each column by clicking the triangle button at the top of the column. Or you can right-click your column and then select the sort logic here. You can clear your sorts by click Clear All Sorts in View button. You can select to keep or remove numerical values by right-click your column and then select Keep Only or Remove button. And you can select each measures that you would like to make changes here. You can select to show subtotals or row-level grand totals in the detail table. For example, we could select to show subtotals after values for a word number. Additionally, you can exclude columns that you don't want. To do that, simply right-click your column and then select Exclude Columns. You can also include extra columns, including calendar month, fiscal month, credit person's first name, credit person's last name, employee ID, their UAlbany email address, and sponsor type. Fiscal month is the month in the fiscal year. For example, July is the first month in the fiscal year, so the fiscal month will be 1 for July. You can also move the column to a specific position that you would like by selecting the Move Column button, or you can simply drag your column by right-clicking it and move it to anywhere you would like to put. Now let's move on to the bottom part of the detail table. If you would like to expand this table, click this button here. If you would like to refresh the page, click Refresh button at the bottom. You can click Export or Print button to export the table or print the table. To go back to the prior page, simply click the Return button at the bottom. Now let's move on to our next tab, Research Expenditure by School or Unit. This tab also presents a comparison table of current and prior fiscal year, but this time we are showing research expenditures credited to schools and departments. Please note that the order of credit schools and credit departments is according to UAlbany's organization chart instead of alphabetic order. All tricks that we have talked about in the first tab still apply. If we would like to look at College of Arts and Science details, we can filter it by selecting College of Arts and Science in Credit School filter. After selecting that, we click the Apply button. We can also go into each department to look at their details by clicking the blue color number here. For example, we could click this number to look at the details in biology department. To go back, just click the Return button at the bottom. Remember, if we have one filter on, it will be applied to each tabs and each detail tables. To remove our filter, simply click the Reset button and then click Reset to Default Values. And then we click Apply. At the bottom of this tab, there is a ranking table. You can filter out fiscal years in this ranking table. You can also select different measures to compare and to rank different schools. Now let's move on to the third tab, Research Expenditure by NACUBO. In this tab, we show a comparison table of 2 fiscal years for research expenditures in each NACUBO class. NACUBO represents a functional expense classification that groups expenses according to the purpose for which the costs are incurred. The classifications tell why an expense was incurred rather than what was purchased. Remember that organized research category here is the same category as the research class in the proposals dashboards. If we would like to look into research expenditures categorized as organized research class in fiscal year 21 to 22, we simply click this button here. To go back to our prior tab, click the Return button at the bottom. At the bottom of this tab, we provide a pie chart to show the distribution of each NACUBO classes according to fiscal year-end credit expenditures. You can filter fiscal year at the top. Our next tab is Research Expenditure by award type. We have 4 categories of award types: federal flows through, foreign, and non-federal. We can click the fiscal year-end credit expenditure data here if we would like to look at federal awarded research expenditures in fiscal year 21 to 22. To go back to our previous tab, click the Return button at the bottom. Here, we also provide a pie chart for fiscal year-end credit expenditures by award type. Again, you can filter the fiscal year at the top. Next, let's move on to Research Expenditure by Employee tab. This tab is the same as the Research Expenditure Details tab, except we provide a ranking table at the bottom. If you would like to look at the credit person's record, you could click their names in this table. For example, if we click Catherine Baker's name, we could look into her records. To go back to our previous tab, click the Return button at the bottom. In addition, you can filter by typing your interested person's first name or last name to track them down in our system. Our final tab here is the Research Expenditure Details tab. Whenever you would like to look at more details, you could go into this tab and adjust it to meet with your needs. You are also welcome to use filters here. Thank you very much for your time. Hope these tutorials help solve your questions. See you next time.